What makes the difference in the quality of people's lives? What makes some people leaders and other people followers? What makes most people talk about a dream and never follow through, and other people, just a small percentage, kick ass, take names, you can throw any obstacle at them, they find a way to break through. What's the difference? It's not talent, it's not skill, it's hunger. If you get enough hunger going in you for an answer, you'll find the answer. If you get a hunger enough inside you that says, I gotta take things to a next level, I gotta achieve, I gotta make a difference, I gotta expand, you will find the answer. People's intelligence will expand if they got enough hunger. But if you got everything and you're not hungry, you're not gonna have much.
The super successful don't stop once they hit their targets. They simply reset and go again. Anytime you stop reaching for massive success, the next thing, you start settling in, that's when you start having problems.
The comfort zone is dangerous. When you're comfortable, you are most dangerous. You should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and dissatisfied.
Well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. It's like you're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. Yeah. And if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
So don't be finished. Be.
Woo! Good morning, dreamers. Rise and shine. How are we feeling coming into the Friday? Shane, Talina tapped into the gym already. Johnny in the building. What's going on? Deanne, Mr. Nibs. Good morning. It's great to see everybody. I'm excited, ready to go and tap into another phenomenal day with more growth, more elevation, more transformation here and on the way. It's absolutely scorching over here in Florida. I don't know what's been going on. My phone's literally been overheating these past couple of days. It's been pretty nuts. But nonetheless, a lot of greatness is here. What is everybody grateful for coming into today? Before we go ahead and dive into the 7 basic needs for any human that's walking, and to be able to understand this, you're going to start to learn about human nature, how we all operate, and how we can go ahead and really tap into the highest version of ourselves. Lady Boss Nikki in the building. What's going on? We just had a phenomenal first event, getting the events back flowing over here in Southwest Florida. It felt so good to go ahead and be back in the field. So I love it. I'm excited. Let me get live on IG, and it is game time. 7 basic needs for every human, and let's get into it. Bang, here we go. It's game time. So, family, I'm grateful for God. I'm so thankful to be alive. Big facts. Grateful for the Mamba mentality. So thankful to be diving deep once again into the morning rituals. I thank you all for taking the time for yourself, for nobody else but in the mirror, because I'm telling you, not everybody always sees this work, right? The work that's done behind the scenes, the journaling, the reading, the visualization, the gratitude, the grounding, right? Taking time for ourselves. And today is day 364 days coming up. Tomorrow's day is 1 year straight, getting the feeling, getting really in tune. We got Arthur in the building, Mr. Black Fresh Legend. It's good to see you. Awesome. Grateful for what is here and on the way. So, family, let's go ahead and dive into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the 7 basic needs for every human. I'm telling you, this is a big one. This is actually coming from Tony Robbins. For those of you that don't know, facts. Here we go. John, what's up? So, game time. First things first, when we're talking about the 7 basic needs, understand this, right? We live in a time where we deal with people on a daily basis. So we got to be aware of these needs and being able to work on fulfilling them as often as possible. 10 days behind me. I see you. Coming up on day 365 as well. Lady Boss Nikki. Amazing to see. So let's get into it, right? 1 of 7. The first need for every human being that is walking is going to be the need for love. Right? Isn't that funny how a lot of times it always comes back to love? Funny enough. Serena, what's going on? It's good to see you. Okay. So the need for love, right? Every single one of us deserves love. And that's the truth, right? The fact of the matter is we all deserve love. We all deserve to be able to go ahead and give and receive love on a daily basis. 1111, paint your vision. Okay. So here's the deal, right? Understanding that self-love is one of the most important pieces when we're talking about love, right? You've got to be able to love yourself before anything else, before any other magic happens. It takes right here, taking time to understand ourselves, taking time to really get deep with emotional intelligence, because you start to realize a lot of the times we've lost the love for ourselves over the course of our lives, right? We've all been told no. We've had a lot of rejection. We've all had failures. And here's the deal. When we go to first try something new, when we step out on the hero's journey, it's so easy to start having all of these negative thinking, all these negative thoughts start to go ahead and take over, and they actually become us. And that self-love starts to dissipate over the years, and we lose a lot of these needs, and you can see how they all correlate. But funny how it all starts with number one is going to be love. So we all have the ability to take time every day to give love to ourselves. Here's what self-love is. Let me show you what self-love is. Self-love is waking up in the morning. So you know what? I love myself too much to go ahead and just check and scroll on my phone, to go ahead and look at the news, to go ahead and shove some junk food in my body. I love myself too much. So you know what I'm doing? I'm going to go ahead and eat some whole foods. I'm going to drink some alkaline. I'm going to dive into my morning routine. I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to read 15 pages of a book. Okay. I'm going to take 10 minutes. I'm going to listen to a visualization. That's self-love. Saying yes to yourself. Everybody, we have the opportunity every morning to either be proactive or reactive. We can either react to all the negativity that's going on, or we can be proactive and we can focus on what it is that we want to go ahead and focus on. Our goals, our priorities, right? Our actions that lead to our results. But it starts with self-love, taking time for ourselves every day. I'm actually going to go out and I'm going to make a video today saying how simple it is, whether that's in the morning, whether that's on your lunch break, whether that's when you get out of work to go ahead and watch a sunset somewhere. This is one of the most important pieces of the day. And I'll give you guys a perfect example. One of my roommates, right, over the course of this period, I've met a lot of amazing people that I've had the chance to learn from, right? And one of my best friends, Kaz, Mr. Kasim Bazzi, Shane Talina knows exactly who I'm talking about, but he's actually from Lebanon, right? He's Lebanese. And when I had a chance to live with him, I would start to notice little habits that he just took from his customs. One of those habits was every single day, he would pray 3 times a day. He would pray in the morning, he would pray in the afternoon, and he would pray before he went to sleep. And it's so funny because I just started thinking about the stereotypical, how so many people have no idea why certain backgrounds, they even pray multiple times throughout the day. But you know what I realized the fundamental principle of it really is? It's actually really simple. All they're doing is they're shoving positivity into their mind at least 3 times a day minimum. They're taking 10 minutes for themselves 3 times a day, every day, no matter what. Rain, snow, sleet, shine, because they understand how important self-love is. To be able to pour back into ourselves. So this is huge. I want to just give this nugget because this is something, even for myself, I focus on every day. They say for self-love, here's the equation. It takes being selfless. It takes being selfish before we can be selfless. Let me say that one more time. It takes being selfish before we can be selfless. Right? I was just on the airplane. We just got back from Mexico. I'm about to go take another flight tomorrow. The next stop on tour, over to the Carolinas. And you know what they say every time that you get on an airplane? There's a mask that drops down. The flight attendant says this. Before you take that mask, if there's something that were to happen, you need to go ahead and put it on yourself first so you can breathe before you can go ahead and help anybody else. So self-love is huge. Number 2. Okay. Number 2 is going to be talking about the need for security. As I end off number 1 with love, okay, understand this. To move with love every single day, there's nothing that's more powerful than that. You don't need to know people to be able to say, I love you. If we can dislike somebody without ever meeting them, we can also love somebody without ever meeting them. So to be able to put out content, to be able to put out relationships, to be able to put out an energy of love, I'm telling you, that ripples and that is more contagious than anything you'll ever even imagine in a positive light, right? So that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be the need for security. Okay. Everybody walking is looking for some way, some shape or form of security. And here's the funny fact about it all. We live in a world where every day can be unknown, right or wrong. So guess where security really starts? There's no security at a job. Some people have been working a job for 20 years. You know what's funny? They can go and they can get a 2-week notice tomorrow. They have 2 weeks to leave their job. There's people that were literally living inside of Florida here for the past 35, 50 years. And they built the amazing business. A lot of the businesses that were built on the beach. Well, guess what? A hurricane came. Hurricane Ian came. It wiped all of these businesses, all of these people's income for the past 35, 50 years. So guess what? There's no such thing as perfect security in all areas of our life. If you're talking about materialistic, the physical world. But I want to teach you something that's very powerful. This is why they say success is 90 to 99% spiritual. Here's why. Because when you understand that your creation with your relationship with God, your relationship with your creator, whoever that may be, that is real security. Drop a 777 if you guys believe that. That's real security. Can you trust God? Can you trust your creator? Can you trust that you're here for a reason? Can you trust that you're here for a purpose? There's a hashtag that over the past couple of years, there are some leaders in the company, they made this. Here's what it says. Hashtag, it'll all make sense. Woo! It'll all make sense. You see, at the beginning, going through it, some things, they don't make sense while you're in the midst of it. It didn't make sense to me at the beginning why I wasn't making thousands of dollars until I understood there's a journey. There's a growth process, right? It didn't make sense to me why I had to get up and speak in front of people until I realized it's not something that I have to do. This is an opportunity that I get to do, to be able to share the story, to be able to impact others with what's happened to me so they can see themselves in a different light. You see, all it is shifting our perspective. God saved me countless times, truth be told. So realize this, anything that we've ever gone through, here's what I've been able to learn. We didn't get through it by ourselves. I want you to just go back and think about the craziest situation that you could think about inside of your life and ask yourself, did I do this alone? And when you really sit down and you think about that, you weren't alone. We had protection. We had a creator. We had guidance. We had somebody that was watching over. And the moment that you realize that, you start to see that faith is a lot different than believing. Believing, I have to see it to believe it. Faith is being able to not see it, but you can still believe it wholeheartedly. It's already done. Do you have the faith that the abundance, the prosperity is becoming attracted to us every single day? The only way that we really dive into that concept and that mindset is by taking time for ourselves, taking time with our creator, and really digging deep with the deep work. I'm telling you, you can't fake the deep work. You can't fake this stuff. You're either really taking time to do it or you're not. And here's what I can also promise you. Time will either expose or promote us. That's the difference. All I have to do is look in the mirror. My face was broken. Look at that, right? Insane car accident. And your face, if somebody were to look at you, they would never know that even happened. So we have so many miracles that we've been able to grow through. Even for myself, look at me. Let me show you mine. When I was in college, I actually broke my collarbone. The lighting's kind of off. You can't really see it. But I actually broke my collarbone. Here we go. I broke my collarbone, and I have a plate, and I have 6 screws inside of my collarbone. You see, imagine myself being a D1 athlete. I'm right-handed. It's on my right side too. My whole life, I'm used to being active. I'm used to using my body. And imagine one day, in a matter of a 10-second incident, literally my collarbone broke. And my dreams to be in the athletic world were shut down just like this. And I had to think about it. Who am I without being athletic? That's how everybody knew me. Imagine if you guys have ever seen the movie High School Musical, Zac Efron. I was that guy in college, right? A lot of people knew me for playing sports, right? So when you start to realize that a couple of different things, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And when you can start to see the lesson, life starts to change. You see, I started to see that sports, maybe it wasn't necessarily the route that I was destined to go. Maybe my impact can be a lot bigger in another vehicle, in another field. So realize that at the end of the day, security, there's no such thing as real physical security. But there is security knowing that we have a creator, knowing that we have a source that's watching over every day. When my sister passed, guess what? I had a whole newfound security because I realized I have guardian angels. I have those that are really watching over, and I could see her. I could see her in owls. I could see her in the clouds. I could see her in different animals. Drop a 3 down below if you guys have ever noticed this, maybe with somebody that's not here in your life right now, but you started to feel the security. You can feel their essence. You can feel their presence. This is the spiritual side of success. This is the spiritual side of life. To know that you have more security than you'll ever even imagine. I can promise you that. But you got to believe it, right? That's number 2. Here's number 3. This is such a powerful training. Number 3 is going to be right here. The need for creative expression. Now, Bob Proctor, those of you who know about Bob Proctor, he talks about how we all have 6 higher faculties. Now, 6 higher faculties are literally what separates humans from animals, right? What separates a human from a tiger? What separates a human from a bird? You see a bird, a tiger, a lion, a shark, an alligator, they don't have the ability to be able to use their imagination. They can't imagine things. All they can do is they can move off of their instinct. They're hungry, they eat. They're tired, they sleep. That's it. It's really simple. You see what a human can be able to sit here, close our eyes, and we can envision a life. We can envision being able to travel. We can envision being able to retire our family. We can envision walking on the beach. We can envision all of these amazing, beautiful things before it even happens. And guess what? This is the spiritual side of success. The imagination. You see, there's four types of levels when it comes to making income inside of life, right? I'm going to breeze through this really quick. Number 1 is manipulation, manipulators, right? The average 9 to 5, we're basically getting manipulated to get paid the least amount and get paid enough to stay at our job for 40 years. So manipulation is number 1. Number 2 is going to be coordination, right? That's the next level. We have managers that coordinate the people that are getting manipulated, right? Managers make good money. Managers can make 6 figures. The third level is going to be communication, communicators, right? You look at actors, we look at movie stars, we look at professional speakers. They can get paid $100,000 for an hour to speak. Actors can get paid millions over a course of a movie like Avatar. But if you look at the fourth level is the highest level when it comes to actually maxing out life. And this is the imagination. This is companies like Facebook, Tesla, Uber, Netflix, Snapchat, right? These are companies that didn't exist at one time, but somebody took a thought, they took an idea and they pulled it out of the ether into a creation. They took the spiritual world and they pulled it into the physical. If you look at most companies that we see nowadays, Wells Fargo, Henry Ford, Rolls Royce, guess what? These are people. These are somebody's last names. Henry Ford, Wells Fargo, Rolls Royce. This is 2 people's last names. Rolls and Royce. That's 2 last names. Most people don't know that. Procter and Gamble, Morgan and Morgan. Guess what? Somebody had an idea and they were able to go ahead and use their last name to go ahead and actually make a dent in the world. Creativity. They say most people, they live until 75, but they die at 25 because we let go of all of our imagination, all of this creativity that we all carried as a child. So the saying is, here's what Bobby P says. He said, take action like an adult, but dream like a child. This is why when I was 21, this is one of the biggest things I ever realized, is to dream much bigger, much sooner. Imagine this, when I was 21, living out of my car, 30K in debt, had no job, just lost my sister to cancer, and I literally went to the store, got a $1 notebook, and I wrote out my goal. I wrote out my vision for the next 5 years of where I saw myself going, of who I saw myself becoming. So one of the greatest things that any of us on this call can do is take some time today to really dive into our creative side. The brand that's listed right here, Johnny K, Lady Boss Nikki, Adam Marshall. Can you envision this name on stage in front of countless people being impacted? Can you envision really making a difference, making a positive impact in the world? Right? Deanne, John, think about that. Your last name is more powerful than we could ever even know. But it takes diving into the creative expression. What is being creative? moving in authenticity, speaking our truth, right? Becoming one with who it is that we know we can be. Think about this. When you start stepping into your truth, they say follow the smoke. If you want to tap in your creative side, follow the smoke. What fires you up? What gets you excited every day? Follow the smoke. Go after it. Beat it at the craft, and people will come from miles to come and watch you burn. Only 5% of the world understand this. Tapping into their true creative side, believing that you can go out and travel, believing that you can go out and create a life by design, believing that we are the highest form of creation. This is one of the hardest parts, believing that is possible. Even having audio, people chanting Nikki. Let's go. Absolutely. I love it. Number four is the need for recognition. They say recognition is something that babies will cry for, but men and women will die for it. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter what anybody says. You don't need anybody to tell you that you are valuable, that you matter, that you are powerful, that you can go out and create a life that we've been looking to create by design. Nobody needs to validate that for you. Yes, it's phenomenal to hear it, but let me be the first to tell you there's a reason why we exist. There's a reason why we're on this call, because we all made a decision to go out and do something that most people are not willing to do to create a life tomorrow that most can't. Why? Because they're not willing to take the actions. They're not willing to do what's uncomfortable. So I want you guys to think about this. This is why every day I leave you with this. If nobody told you today, you are powerful, you are amazing, you are a creator, you are a leader, because I know how important this piece of the process really is. The second that you believe how great you are without anybody telling you is the moment that we go out and we take massive action, because we're not addicted to anybody else's approval. Took me a long time to get there, but it finally made sense. Yo, look at this. My phone just overheated on IG. I can't even make this up. They don't want to let me get the sauce out. This is so funny. Here's number 5. Stick with me. I'm almost done. I got 3 more for you. I'm telling you. I already know what's going on here. We know. Outwitting the D. Number 5 is going to be the need for new experiences, right? We just got back from Mexico. We just got back from Cancun. One of the most amazing, one of the best trips of my life. But here's the deal. Now more than ever, I know how important experiences are, right? This is why over my past 5 plus 6 years, I've been to every single event. I have not missed one major event for the company since I've been inside of here since 2017. Why? Because I know what new experiences can do. Ever since I went to my first one, I didn't know the power of events before I actually really went to a real one until I got in the building. Let me tell you, there's just something that's so special getting inside here. I'm gonna have doing these calls inside with the AC. Facts. Right. So Shane Talina, like from events, there's something special that happens when you go to events. They say you don't walk in the door and you don't walk out the same person that you came in. And that couldn't be more of a real fact, right? Because when you hear somebody's story that flew all the way out from India, that flew all the way out from Australia, like Corinne the educator that constantly is wearing Shane and Talina's brand, right? The crypto, love crypto. She's all the way from Australia. Somebody introduced this business to her continents away. She saw the value, and now she's literally taking flights across the world to come get whole new experiences. So events, you're gonna see so many things that you don't see at home, you don't see on TV, you don't see on Zooms. You don't feel the same. You hear testimonies, you see stories, you get to see a different side of conversations that you're probably normally not used to listening to. It's different when you get around Chairman Hundreds, when you get around Chairman 750s, when you have private conversations with some of these educators. You get to hear a little bit deeper part of their story. You get to hear a little bit of the details that they don't share to the masses on social media. It's different, right? When we were over here in Cancun, we had exclusive talks with Matt Rosa, going over his journey, going over some of the struggles that he went through. Matt Rosa, Chairman 750. If you knew how much rejection that he's had, if you knew how many times he'd been told no, if you knew how many people quit his business, how many people told him you're never going to be able to become successful, think about this. His wife did not join his business until he was a chairman 500. Think about that. Till he was making $500,000 a month, his wife didn't join. But then she finally saw the vision. You know what happened? She went out to an event. She went out. She finally saw the experiences for herself, and she was able to see what's possible. She saw other women just like her that came from a nursing background that had no idea about entrepreneurship. That were able to go ahead and make it happen. So new experiences is everything, right? I've had times on my journey when our dream building. Adam just did this. Adam just went dream building. He went over to the dealership and looked at some of his dream cars, and he got in it and he smelled the leather, put his hands on the wheel. Right after that, he dropped a picture of one of his dream houses in the chat, and he went and drove there, and he actually went and he took a tour. Went inside of the dream house. This is called creating the feeling. I did the same thing, right? So some of these places traveling to has been on my dream board for years. Being able to go out in Paradise Valley in Arizona and stay in the top highest income city in the whole country, that was on my dream board, manifested. So a lot of these things, understand, it happens spiritually before it ever happens physically. But the need for new experiences, I went over this when I was in the car this week on the way to my meeting. I was talking about how we have end goals, right? And we have means goals. And after that, I went over, there's 3 different types of getting to end goals, right? We have growth, we have contribution, and we have experiences. Well, this is the experiences part. What are some experiences that you've been dying to go ahead and see for yourself? Drop it down below. I want to know. What are some experiences that really fire you up, that you can sit and close your eyes right now? You just get goosebumps envisioning that. Is it walking on Laguna Beach out in California? Is it seeing Niagara Falls over there in Canada, right? I was talking to Adam, probably going to have to take the trip over to Canada. Shane, Talina, get your passports ready. We out. A lot of things are happening coming into this new year because we've documented, right? We've wrote the vision, and we've been able to see it before it happens. So what are some experiences that you guys want to see? Can you see yourself on stage in front of thousands of people? Can you see yourself giving back to your family? Can you see yourself traveling? Whatever that is, success is different to everybody. So take time for yourself to identify what are some experiences that I want, that I truly desire. Because when you get this withdrawal trading, when you make all these ka-chings in your e-commerce store, here's the truth. We're not just doing it to make money. People really don't just love money. They love what money can do. That's why I tell you guys, it's not I'm so happy and grateful I'm making $100,000 a month. It's the because. What is the because with that? Are we able to travel? Are we able to give back? What are we doing? What are the experiences? We can drop $1 and we can go get it back. We cannot drop a second of time and go get it back. So experiences, $1 can be blown in a second. 10,000 can be blown in a second, but an experience lasts a lifetime, right? So everybody, get your passports ready, because I'm going to tell you right now, here's the goal. The next 6 months, let me paint the vision for everybody. The next 6 months, get ready. I'm telling you guys early so nobody has excuses. We are going most likely to Costa Rica in the new year, right around January. This is probably going to be called the New Year's kickoff. And when I was in Mexico, I told myself this: there's no way I'm going to another big trip like this without the entire squad. There's no way. Everybody's got to go. Everybody needs this experience because you're not going to come back home the same. Your drive, the passion, the insight, the wisdom, the values, the experiences is priceless. There's a lot that are investing their last to go out to Croatia in September for the event. That is going to be a priceless experience. Even if it costs $1,000 for the flight, costs whatever it is, a couple hundred for the stay, for the Airbnb, a little bit for food, that is an experience that they will never forget for their entire lives. So understand that everything that we're doing, we're moving with the vision, we're moving with purpose. For the past 5-6 months, every day we were waking up knowing we were going to Cancun in 5 months. Every day we were getting on the charts, we were starting, we're like, yo, I can't wait to get Cancun. I can't wait to be on the beach getting ka-chings. So it's exciting when you have a vision, when you have experiences that we're looking forward to. It makes every day exciting. So that's what's coming in the future. Wanted to make sure that's out there so everybody knows, okay? Number 6 and 7, here's the last two. Number 6 is going to be the need for self-esteem. Self-esteem is real simple. Self-esteem is confidence in your worth. Self-esteem is confidence in your ability. Self-esteem is priceless. When you gain this inside, you're not worried about what people think. You're not worried about losing a trade because you know a loss is only a loss if we don't learn from it. It becomes a lesson. I had to learn this over the course of this journey. When people told me no, when people quit my business, that used to wreck my self-esteem. But you know what I started to realize? I know who I am, I know what I can do, and I know we can always get better. This is the process. Nothing is perfect. Everything is ever growing. So the first time we go out and speak, yeah, the first one always probably sucks the most, right? We might stutter a little. My worst video was freaking horrible. I had to take probably 39 takes for my first video. Lady Boss Nikki, you remember that? Filming the first couple of videos over and over and over again. And now it's just like, yo, one take, boom, is done. So did that happen overnight or did that happen over a series of nights? It happened over time. Gaining that confidence, gaining that self-esteem comes from putting in the reps, comes from taking action, comes from getting uncomfortable and getting ourselves out into the field. If you go to the gym today and you go on a machine that you're normally not used to ever using and you get on it and you're just like, man, this just feels so awkward. It feels so weird. But then if you go on that machine and you go there for a month straight and you go on that machine a couple of days throughout the week, guess what? By the end of that month, you're going to be able to get on that machine and you're going to be able to really start work that thing because you've been able to put in the reps and you've got some confidence in yourself because you went out and you took action, you worked on it, and you started to gain a better knowledge with your experience. So that's huge. Or being pushed by your mentor. Absolutely. And last but not least, number 7 is going to be the need for more life. To live life more, to go ahead and max out our life. The 7 needs, the last need for every human, deep down, believe it or not, is the need to go ahead and stretch to our highest version. I talked about this before, trees and humans. We talked about animals and humans. Here's the difference between plants and humans. Plants are the only things that strive to their fullest potential. Humans do not. And the reason for that is all of these 6 that we just went through. The lack of self-esteem, the lack of new experiences, the lack of getting any recognition even from themselves, even with their creator. The lack of having security because they don't have a connection. And no love. All 6 of these things that we talked about all play a role for these 7. So the last but not least, to go out and really live a life that's worth living is by doing all of these things. Waking up every single day with a smile. Waking up every day that say, you know what? We're alive. We're breathing. There's some people that are paralyzed from the waist down that don't even have a chance to step outside, take a sip of tea, and enjoy the sunlight today. So what are we sitting here? What do we look like complaining about a lot of the little problems, little issues that we have when there's people that are stuck inside of a hospital, that are stuck looking at 4 white walls every day, and they're begging for a chance to be able to sit in our shoes that we're sitting in right now, to be able to take a deep breath and not feel any pain. That is such a blessing in itself. So people ask me all the time, D, what motivates you? What keeps you inspired? You know what it really is? Being alive. Yeah, the why is great. The why is phenomenal. But the why we're even doing this should be enough. The fact that we're alive and breathing is plenty for me. The fact that we get another opportunity to go ahead and become the best version, that's plenty for me. Because I know there's a lot of people that are dying to be able to have that same opportunity that we have every day. So dreamers, with that being said, guess who the only person in the world is stopping us? I want you to answer this question before we get off. There's only one person in the world that's stopping us from going out and creating this amazing life that we envision for ourselves. Who can tell me who that person is? One person. One. That person is right in the mirror. Right here. This is the only one. This is the biggest obstacle right here. This is the biggest mountain that's in our way. The moment we can step out of our own way is the moment that we go ahead and step into our greatness. So Dream Team, it's you versus you. Believe it. You are unstoppable. You are a leader. You are creating so much abundance inside of your life. There's things that are working off of your radar that you don't even know yet. Stay on the process. Stay on the course. And I'm telling you right now, there's so many things that are here and on the way. All that's left is for time to go ahead and catch up. I love you, fam. Go out and be great. Is your favorite entrepreneur. Define dreams. Remember, we can be, do, and have anything we can hold in our mind. We can hold it right here in our hand. I love you, fam. Have a phenomenal day. July, we are jumping into new levels. Quantum leaps, turning dreams into reality. Let's go. Game time.